Hey, yo.
Oh, we're
We're
live.
live from Lisbon, Portugal.
Yes, we're back home in Lisbon, Portugal. Porto was lovely. So, I think yesterday was 4th of July, so happy Independence Day. But are you actually free? Are you actually free? Yesterday, we celebrated independence. We had fireworks, right? Y'all had flags. We didn't celebrate Doodly Squad over here in Portugal.
No.
I'm just going to let y'all know. But y'all had flags and barbecues and parades and the whole 9 yards and Trump's 250-day thing, whatever he was doing.
What rant he was giving.
Right? With all the smoke,
Oh
all
my
the
God.
smoke, so-called fireworks in DC. Oh my God, he can't do anything right. But today, I want to ask you a question that might make some of you uncomfortable. If you lost your job tomorrow, how free would you be? If your landlord raised your rent, how free would you be? If property taxes doubled, how free would you be? If you had to help adult children, or if you had to help your parents, could you do that easily? If they had a major medical emergency, could you do that? How free would you be? Or have we confused patriotism with freedom?
So today we're going to answer two questions. Has life for Black Americans actually become more free over the past 2 years? And how do you know whether you have true freedom or just an illusion of it? Because here at our Black Utopia, we believe freedom isn't measured by symbols. It's measured by options.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to get started. Hey, y'all. My name's Halisi.
And I'm Rick. Welcome to our Black Utopia.
On our channel, we talk about money, travel, and life abroad, right? We're helping Black folks approaching retirement build more options by getting your money straight. So for those of you who are new to our channel, you might not know, y'all know, back in 2018, we were getting close to retirement age and we got a wake-up call, y'all. We looked at our money and it looked crazy.
Crazy.
So we did decide to get our act together, our financial act together, and we went from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 million in net worth. We live in Portugal, and we have for the past 4 years almost now. Well, it's almost, August is 4 years.
Yeah.
And now we help people build their own version of freedom, their own version of Black Utopia. So if that sounds amazing to you, if that sounds like something that you need, we need you to join our community, join us on this journey by subscribing. All right. Hit that notification bell twice so that you know every single time that we go live, and
beat it up. Smash the hell out of that button.
Smash the like button.
Smash it.
So that YouTube knows that this is information that needs to be shared with our community. All right. Let's start with a question. And please don't overthink it, you guys. Don't overthink. Just answer honestly. How many of you believe that you're truly free? All right. I want you to type, yes, I'm free in the chat, or no, I don't really feel free in the chat. If you're watching from the future, hey. Hope the future's great. Let us know in the comments. Type, yes, I'm free in the comments, or no, I don't really feel free. Or maybe you can type.
Maybe it depends.
It depends.
Type independence if you feel that way.
Right. I want to know. I want to know. Okay. And then once you answer that, I want to know, what makes you say that? What makes you say no or yes? All right. And we want to know, what does freedom look like to you? So Jana says, no. Joanna, no, I don't feel free. Okay. No, I don't feel free. CK says yes. Tracy says heck no. Tammy says no. Don't feel free. I feel like I'm choking. I feel like I'm choking.
Wow.
Here's the thing, y'all. Freedom should produce results.
Yeah. No, we're not going to throw a lot of statistics at you today. Just enough to make you think. Black employment. Less of our community is working today than just a couple of years ago.
Right? We know that Black unemployment rose by 2, 3, some studies say even 5% in the past couple of years. Does that sound like freedom? Does that sound like more freedom to you or less? All right. I want to hear what you guys have to say. Let's discuss, because, you know, it's interesting to me. We've got family who's in town, and they asked us if the expats here were going to do anything for 4th of July. And I'm like, we don't celebrate 4th of July here. Freedom from what and from whom? Freedom from what and freedom from whom? That's what I'm asking. We celebrated Juneteenth here, but we have not celebrated 4th of July here ever.
No, I think I've seen in some groups,
like Americans and Friends in Portugal,
something like that. It wasn't them; it was somebody else. But you know, it wasn't none of us really. Well, maybe one or two of us celebrating.
Right. Angie says it was crazy here in DC with that ish, but the atmosphere was very different. They had a bunch of them, and they have a bunch of them here. And where did they had to hide out? We were talking, so if you're not a channel member, then you don't get to hang out with us behind the scenes, because we were hanging out behind the scenes, chitty chatting. And someone said that they had them hiding from the rain. They in the Black museum, in the African American Museum, the Smithsonian.
Wow.
Yes. Maybe one of them read a thing or three. You think? We enjoyed the fireworks in the city and the other parts last night, but it was subdued. I want to know, like, what are we really celebrating? And what is there to celebrate? What is there to celebrate? Okay, let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who's watching. Hey, Ginger Rogers.
Hey.
Hey. Allison is in the house. Abundance Now is in the house. Deidre Hall, Evelyn Golden, Jen Exing, love that name. Josette Lynch is in the house. A. Lee.
Hey, A. Lee.
We got Dr. Sanji and Shanora.
Hey,
And
Shanora.
Rhonda is in the house. Bobby. Rapper MD, we were having a good old time behind the scenes, yippee yapping. And for those of you, we did have our technical info session for those who are participating in the Side Hustle Challenge. So if you're participating in the Side Hustle Challenge, which starts this Saturday, you can find that in the community. All right, I'll put that video in the community. There's still a couple of seats left. So the information is in the description below. If money is a thing that is keeping you from being free, if you need more income to be free, there are so many ways to make money, and it is easy to make money. I'm trying to tell you guys. All right. Hey, Carla.
Hey, Carla.
Cheryl is in the house. A Better Life. Give a shout out to
Hey,
Greta, our handy and also helpful volunteer. I'm trying to put all of her stuff here on up. Okay, she's just doing such a great job. Thank you. All right, sweethearts, we're going to continue going. So that Black unemployment. All right, let's keep it going. All right. So if you lost your job tomorrow, how free are you really, right? If you lost your job, I don't know. That does not sound like freedom. Like if losing your job puts you in dire straits, that's not freedom. Black household income has gone up somewhat, but so has the cost of living. And so if you look at the buying power, we have not gained more buying power in the past 2 years. Inflation has taken all of that away. Okay. Inflation has taken all of that away. Black household wealth, right? The Black median household wealth remains under $50,000, while white household wealth is about $200,000. Look, when most people hear the word freedom, they think of rights. When I hear the word freedom, I think of margin. Like, how much room do I really have, right, if the fit hits the sham, right? Before I'm broke, how much room do I have, right? Income pays bills. Wealth buys options.
Yes.
So here on Our Black Utopia, yes, it is about generating more income, if that is the thing. But it's not just about generating more income. It is what you do with that income. And that's what we teach in Beyond the Bling, okay? Because for a lot of people, it is not that they haven't made enough money.
No.
It's how they spend the money and what they choose to invest in. That is what the issue is. I told my daughter the other day that I celebrated my freedom on Juneteenth.
Yes, you did.
Right? Right? And it was marvelous. If I remember, Ailey, you were here in Portugal.
And we had a marvelous time.
We had a marvelous time. Didn't we? Yes, I'm free despite what is seen or heard. Look, you know, not about CK, but what we met a lot of people, both at the conference, at spouses of folks at our meetup, and then, you know, we've got family here, you know, friends of family and stuff like that. And it amazes me how many Black folks are still sticking up or sticking by America. I just don't get it. I don't get it, y'all. I don't get it. So we know which one gives you more freedom. We want you to be able to take that income and build the wealth that you need to build so that you can have true freedom. That's what we want for you. That's what we want. Student debt. Black borrowers still carry the highest student loan burden.
Yeah. So how many of you are still helping your adult children financially? How many of you still have student loan debt? Put it in the chat.
Yeah. If you're watching from the future, I want to know in the comments. All right. So CK says, Stephanie asked an interesting question today. Do you have any friendship openings? Stephanie asked some interesting questions, period. Some of the things that come out of her mouth is like, how do you even think of things like that? It's just so brilliant. Okay. Do you have any friendship? It made me think of the OBU meetup. We were all looking for friendship openings as we build community. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing about our meetup, you guys. Okay. The video is coming out next week. That is the thing about our meetup. And we are pre-selling next year's meetup. And we are having a winter meetup. So the winter meetup is going to be much, 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 much smaller. Okay. With a New Year's Eve party. And we're going to have a summer meetup. Why? Not because we think that everybody should move to Portugal, because everybody who comes is not moving to Portugal, but because it is very, very important for you to build community. It doesn't matter whether you are on the FIRE journey or the FIRE and the expat journey. Both need community because you are doing something that most people are not doing. Right. Most people are not trying to be financially free. Most people are trying to keep up with the Joneses. Most people come here. My family comes here and they see the prices of the designer bags and they go back home with 2 more designer bags. That's what they do. That's what they do. Because that's what they need, right? Another designer bag as they complain about having to go back to work. I'm just saying. I am just saying. All right. What are you guys talking about? We're looking in the chat. You guys know the drill. Oh, if you are new here, you might not know. Put a Q in front of your question or comment.
I was going to say change your banner because I was thinking the utopians.
Put a Q in front of your question or comment if you want us to put it on screen. Hey, Karen Louise. Hey, Crystal. Good to see you guys in the chat. Wanda. So Allison says, life for us here in the States has gotten harder since integration, in my opinion. I don't know, because I was born in California, and so it was already integrated. I'm not going to say we've never been integrated, right? Desegregated. So California has been desegregated ever since I've been born. So I have no idea how it was, what it was like before integration. It appears that it was in some ways, but by and large, Allison, it was not. It was not. Like it, there was a reason why we had the Green Book and all of that stuff, right? That we had to find safe spaces just so that we could travel across country to go visit family and stuff. So no, it was not better then. It was not better then. It was not better for us, and it was not better in general. Now we might have had better self-reliance in those days because we had to and stuff like that. We hadn't been brainwashed in certain ways. But by and large, I don't think so. I don't think so. Hey, Killer Queen.
Hey, Killer Queen.
Good to see you in the chat.
Always.
Winnie B is in the chat. Shanora says not free. Valerina says it depends. Pacific Northwest says no, but working on it. I don't feel free. Yes, options do equal freedom. Straight up, right? Like I'm really kind of pissed because I still haven't gotten reimbursed for the leg. And now the bill's due. Now my credit card bill is due. And so I'm going to have to take money out of my savings account, out of our savings account and pay the bill. But I can't. And so I need to stop tripping off of it and tripping off of the fact that, I don't know how long it's going to take them to replenish that money, but that's 15 days or whatever that I'm not making interest on that money, So, but that's options, right? I have the option to be able to just go ahead, pay the bill off in full, the whole 5,000. And it's not going to do anything to our lifestyle whatsoever. That is a form of freedom, you all. And so when we talk about freedom on Independence Day or the day after Independence Day, so-called Independence Day, I've called it White People's Independence Day for a long time because Black people weren't free. We did not get free in 1776. We were barely free in 1876. We had the illusion of freedom in 1976. I remember that. I remember the bicentennial. And we have lost freedoms since then, right? We've lost freedom since then. I closed the bank of mama years ago. My daughter has an attitude of entitlement to my money simply because I'm her mama. She needed to learn and she did. I'm going to tell you guys, for some of you who have kids who have their late bloomers or failure to launch, move out of the country. Move out of the country. They start learning real fast that they don't have to figure stuff out because you're not just right around the corner.
They can't see the paycheck no more.
Right? They cannot see the paycheck.
The bank book no more.
Right? Nope. I'm proud of the way we are moving in this climate because we are realizing that we have support. We have to support each other more. Yes. Wealth transfer is needed to our own. It's happening slowly. Yeah, absolutely. Let me see these ones that I starred here.
Can you see that?
No, it's
your screen is very dark.
Okay, that's what it is. Okay, I'm sorry. Why can't I see this stuff? Have you and Rick decided whether to do a fall meetup? No, we're not going to do a fall meetup, but we are going to do a winter meetup. Okay. If you're coming to town, just send us an email. And if we're available, we can break bread. We can go out for coffee or something. We're more than happy to do that. If we're available, we're in town. But meetups take a lot of work. They take a lot of work, y'all. And I come from the Stephanie Perry school of thought. Do as little as possible. Just like she was talking about, that the notion that we're supposed to wait to live until we retire, like all we do is work. And then finally, when we retire, we can do some living, and we squeeze some living in between, like in 2-week increments once a year. That's baloney. That is baloney. And thankfully, I've had a lot of time to be an entrepreneur. So I've had a lot of time not to have to clock in. And I thank God for that. Now, consequently, means I don't have as much money saved as I should have had. But that has nothing to do with the fact that I was an entrepreneur. That had to do with the fact that I didn't know what the hell I was doing. How can I renew my membership outside of Google Play? I disconnected all Google memberships because of Google shenanigans. There's no way to become a channel member outside of Google. Now, I don't think you need to download Google Play. If you watch us on a laptop or a computer, you don't need Google, you don't need an app. You can just do it through the browser. But because YouTube is Google, there's no way to totally get rid of Google. And yes, shenanigans, y'all, shenanigans. We were still slaves in 1776, so even the premise of the fourth doesn't apply to us. Exactly, right? I already lost the job on the last of retirement funds. I'm sorry, Sheila. Is it Sheila or Shelley?
Shelley.
I'm sorry. But there are ways to make money.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And so we did a video about remote work, but we also talked about in that video, which I've just completely forgotten about, agencies, employment agencies. So employment agencies and temp agencies. We put together a list. Let me see if we have that over here. Let me see. Okay, I'm trying to do stuff in real time here, y'all. So 1 second. Let's see. I'm seeing if that list is this it?
The list still?
No, that's the universities. Let's see. Scouting trip, money principles, luxury travel. Okay, it's someplace else. Remote. No, there it is.
Remote.
Okay, yeah. So here I'm gonna put the link in our chat. Okay, guys, because here's the thing. There's the link to our list of staffing agencies that also have a lot of remote jobs. You might not be looking for a remote job, Shelley. That's not what I'm saying. But I think we've forgotten about staffing agencies and things like that. And a lot of those jobs never get posted on Indeed and things like that. You also should be looking at LinkedIn and look at all of the people that you are connected to. Look at the places that you might want to work if you do want to get a W-2 job. Maybe you do some temp work and start building your own thing. Okay. But if you want to do a W-2 or even 1099, one of the great things about LinkedIn is it tells you everybody that you're connected to. So whether you do 1099 contract work or W-2 work, look to see about the companies that you would want to work for. Okay. Don't just say, I just need a job. Where do you want to work? Where do you want to work? And then look at the people who are connected to people who work there. That's how you get in. Okay. Because the days of looking at job boards and all of that stuff, those days are over, right? They're not really doing networking parties and all that kind of 1980s, 1990s nonsense, early 2000s nonsense anymore, especially because of social media. Okay, so this is the way we have to do it. Use the agencies and use your network. I definitely feel oppressed and my people attacked. You know, I cannot remember a time in America where I haven't felt oppressed. And I can't remember a time in America where I've ever felt 100% American. I've never felt like I truly ever belonged. I've never ever felt like I've been truly wanted by the country, whatever that means, you know, that my presence was a burden. I've always felt that way. And so it's hard for me to mourn or something. I mourn what America could have been, right? But they chose not to be. They chose to allow racism to rule. They chose racism. That's what they chose. And so we're left with what we have. And we're watching the fall of Western democracy because of racism. So let's talk about happiness, right? Because freedom is not just about the money. Freedom is not just about the fact that, we're drowning in student loan debt in America, right? Not only that, there is a reason y'all know that they did not start doing or eliminating financial aid and funding public education, higher education until we started going, right? At the same time, those 0% student loans that my parents got wiped away, and they started privatizing all of that stuff. Yeah, because the government just gets in the way. Isn't that what Reagan said? Right? And so who has the most debt? The people that they didn't want to go to school in the first place. Us. And so we're drowning in student loan debt. We are drowning. Did I put that? No, I didn't. The WF celebrate the end of UK supervision, ownership, and subjugation before mourn the loss of guardrails and oversight over the WF. I'm not sure what the WF is, and the commencement of the great level of cruelty and terror. I'm not sure what the WF is, babe. I'm sorry for my ignorance. I can't believe how many of my friends celebrated 4th of July. We used to have our family reunion on the 4th of July.
It's easy to do if you think about it.
Yeah.
You really, really get thought to it. And
I mean, there's nothing wrong with celebrating on the 4th of July. It is celebrating the 4th of July is the issue, right?
I mean, we grew up doing it.
And we grew up doing it. Thanks to Biden and my public service, my debt was canceled just in time. Woohoo! Happy for you. Happy for you. Wish it were me. Wish it were me. So let's talk about happiness. Because America remains still, with all of the shenanigans, with all of the nonsense, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, but ranks far lower than many nations in happiness. So how can a country be so rich when the majority of the people feel so stressed, right? Overworked.
And trapped.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Because what is the purpose of freedom if you cannot be happy, right? And I'm not sure you can have one without the other. I think you can have happiness without freedom, because we can just choose to be happy. But I'm not sure that you can have freedom and then nobody's happy. Right? True freedom, of course you're going to be happy. What do we always say as kids? You're not the boss of us. You're not the boss of me. Okay, what are you guys talking about? And then if not, right, America still has so much inequality, so much income inequality. We're going to talk about that in a second. I'm sorry, my mindset is shifting big time. I'm a former public school educator that left the abuse and disrespect behind. I know that's right. My dad was a teacher for a while, and then that was his third career. And then he got to the point where he was only substituting, and he would only teach at schools that had a principal that he liked. And he would only teach pre-calculus and calculus. That was it. He only wanted kids who wanted to learn, and he only wanted to teach at schools that had good principal. So, and when you're good, you get to be picky like that, and they keep calling you, right? The Malone money train stopped when we moved out of the country. I know that's right. I didn't get to ask this backstage, but I'm trying to find an affordable flight to Asia or Europe. How best to find most affordable flight? Hey, Angie. Oh, it's so off topic, girl. So off topic. But I would start with Google Flights. and leave it open, leave the dates open, and leave where you're flying from open, because you might be able to fly. In other words, this is for everybody, no matter where you're flying. Okay, let's just say you live in Denver, Colorado, like we did, and you want to fly to here to Lisbon. I would look for flights to Lisbon from anywhere. You're right. And you can do that with Google Flights, because from New York to Lisbon, or from Chicago to Lisbon might be like a third of the price as from Denver to Lisbon. And then from Denver to Chicago could just be like $100. You see what I'm saying? So that's the best way to start. And then there is a lot of, as a matter of fact, go to our resource page, go to ourblackutopia.thinkific.com and look under the resources, because we have a luxury travel cheat sheet there. And you can go to our website, Our Black Utopia, and go into resources. There's also a cheat sheet there. Okay, because there's lots and lots and lots of ways to find affordable travel. We've done videos on it.
Yeah. Sometimes just change your VPN.
Yeah, sometimes just changing your VPN does it. Considering not paying bills, save my money, and leave the country. I don't have much support. I understand. As far as support goes, community support you can find here. As far as financial support, we never have as much financial support as we think we have, but everybody depends upon us for financial support, though, right? Mm-hmm. Credit scores are not really a thing outside of the United States. But you better be, if you decide to just trash your credit, you better be really certain that you never need to go back. That's the only thing, okay? And that where you're going does not pull credit, because see, even though they don't consider credit scores here in Portugal,
they still look at it. And so if not for renting an apartment usually, but sometimes it depends on who it is. But definitely if you wanted to purchase and try to get a loan, they're going to pull your credit, and they're going to see what your debt to income ratio is, and they're going to see what you have outstanding. So they don't have any reference point for the score. So the score is meaningless, but they are going to look at the fact that you've got some things that were never paid, or potentially, right? And so I understand when you just feel frustrated. I remember sitting in the backyard, waiting for Rick to get home. I was working from home and had my feet up on our fire pit and just bawling, because I just did not want to do this anymore. I didn't. And so I figured out a way that we did not have to do it anymore. And it takes some maneuvering. If you think you're in a position where you might be able to do that, set up a one-on-one call with us, and we'll look at your stuff and see how we can maneuver that. I'm telling you, sometimes you just need someone to look at your situation creatively. Be ready to share your financial situation. Otherwise, we can't help you, obviously. But yeah. So, I understand if like our kids are in the States, my mom is in the States. So I can't say that we will never, ever, ever move back there. What I can say is I don't anticipate ever wanting to move back there. But shit happens. I don't want to move back there. I don't ever want to move back there. Ever, ever, ever. Okay, what else? I have joy. Yes. Happiness is an emotion that comes and goes in spite of my situation, but I'm joy-filled and hopeful. And because you are joy-filled and hopeful, you will find the situation that you are meant to find that is going to bring you whatever money that you need. It will show up.
Right? and the joy part, right?
Mhm.
Because when we sit in gratitude, it's like the whole universe responds to it. It really does. It really does. So for those of you who do not know, my doctor said that she wants me to start walking on my foot now with the boot on. So if you're new, you might not know I broke my leg. I got a broken leg, y'all. Really broken, but not so broken anymore. So yeah, progress, right? All about attitude, I think. So even at this age, healing is as scheduled and everything is going well. I remember a film that was done in the 80s called The Fall of Western Civilization. It was about music, but the title is on point.
Mm.
You guys, I don't know. It's just so clear. It's so clear. And I'm going to give a shout out because we were talking about this behind the scenes. So don't think we gonna come here and give you guys all the stuff we talk about. All right, y'all got to become channel members. We ain't gonna share all the secrets, but I did, and we've talked about him on this channel before. He is a Brit, and his name is Gary. He had been on vacation for a while, but he's back. Gary Economics. And he explains so well macroeconomics in ways that seem to elude me prior to me watching him. So if you do not consider yourself well versed in macroeconomics, like how what is happening globally affects you, you should watch him. You should watch him. I like the fact that he's a humanist and that he really, even though he's a millionaire, he really is trying to push to make sure that everyone can have a life of dignity. Because the way we're going with this income inequality, which is what we're going to talk about next, it's bad, y'all. It's really bad. We have not had this kind of income inequality since the late 1800s. Maybe we had it right before the fit hit the sham in the 1920s. I'm not sure, but I know we had it in the late 1800s, and we know how that turned out. That led to another recession as well. But I think because we've got idiots at the helm, more idiotic than usual, that we're headed for a Great Depression. So it depends. Do you feel free? Not totally free. Our New York City, you guys got Mom Donnie just froze 1 and 2 year rental leases, not in financial debt. Thank God. The psychological daily events of living in madness makes you feel just shackled. That I understand, D. That I understand. Hey, Doug, good to see that you could make it to a live.
Yeah.
How we think determines what we do next, right? And we are free to think the thoughts we choose. This is wisdom. This is true. This is true, right? If anything, we still have this freedom for now, because we don't really have this freedom so much, right? Anytime they had to include us, they would take a loss, right? So we couldn't benefit from what they were getting. Hate is very expensive. Hate is expensive. So she's referring to the fact that tuition, right? Tuition didn't start to get out of control until they decided to stop funding public education, which is a direct result to who was getting educated, right? So maybe freedom isn't about whether you can say what you want, right? I want that. I want that. I want that. Maybe it's not about that. Maybe it's about whether you can live the life that you want, right? So if you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you pay your bills? 1 month, 6 months, a year, right? And if you wanted to move, could you? Or would money stop you? So how long if you lost your job? And if you wanted to move today, could you? Or would money stop you? I want you to answer that question. Let's see what you guys are talking about. Just to let you know, Gary Economics has a television show coming on Channel 4 in the UK on the 9th of July and will be available on YouTube globally. Wow. He don't come up. And I don't know how he came across, maybe because I watch Diary of a CEO from time to time. Maybe that's how he's come across. But, you know, I don't think you can be part of looking at stuff for financial independence, retire early, and Gary not come across your timeline. Oh, somebody else got some forgiveness. Oof. Oh, I get it. Oh, thank you, CK. I mean, Ailey. Okay, I think I've got everybody. Okay, let's see what you're saying. Just to let you know, okay, we just read that one. And yeah, you guys really seriously check them out. Be careful about leaving the country and your debt. Depending on the type of debt you have, it can have an impact on financially, like garnishments of funds or taking money out of your Social Security. Okay, so this is something you would need to research.
Yes.
You would need to research, and then you need to research the statute of limitations for that kind of debt, both in your state, the state that you are leaving from, because you still have to be a resident of one state or another, and the statute of limitations federally. Okay, check that out, because you know, and student loan debt. There is no a private student loan debt you can't get out of, but public student loan debt, look, that's going to be a shackle. It does not matter. They will garnish. They don't care. They do not care. They will garnish. My niece who lives in Thailand wants to visit China. Wants to go visit China. Have you ever been to China before? No, Wanda. I don't want them folks touching my hair. No, I'm kidding. I don't know if I'll ever go to China. And it's depressing because there's so much about the culture that is so freaking cool. So freaking cool. But they don't seem, by and large, to have respect for people who look like us yet. And I'm just not willing to give my money to people who won't even fake it. Like, you know, I'll just have to watch everybody else's videos. You know, I just have to watch everybody else's videos because, yeah. But tell your niece to watch the Yarbros, Yarbros. There's other people who live in China who have like teaching contracts and stuff like that in China, YouTubers. I'm sure she is aware of. I like the Yarbros. They had a contract in China, but they do talk about China in relationship to the other Asian countries that they are now visiting, differences and stuff like that. But yeah, you know, and it depends on where she's going. I'd stick to the major cities and only do tours to the Great Wall or some of the other things that are out in the rural areas where people really haven't seen us. But she'll be fine. She'll be fine. They're just rude. That's all. It's not like they're dangerous. They're just rude. I know it was off topic. I was hoping so. Okay. Yeah. Well, so yeah, somebody else can help her too. We crowdsource around here when it comes to travel. But yeah, Angie, download our list as well. Okay. So Joanna says, I am such a happy person outside of work and paying bills, right? I promise I am, right? It's just the adulting. I've dealt with a ton of grief, etc. the past 5 years. Yes. But this year the grief was different and I can't explain it. It's interesting. I was watching, because you all know that we've lost 4 to 5 people this year, 5 people in the past 13 months, close family members. To me, close is aunts and uncles are close. Siblings, aunts, uncles, parents, right? So so I understand the grief, but Don Lemon was interviewing Whoopi. She's got a book that has just come out, and she was talking about grief, and he asked her how was the grief regarding her mom, losing her mom, and losing her brother. And she said she was fine because we said all that needed to be said. And I thought that was interesting. I thought that was very interesting because when I think about some of my regrets with my dad, it's conversations that I wish we had. But I never articulated it so clearly, so cleanly, so simply, right? When you don't feel like you have any regrets, then the grief is not that bad. The grief is not that bad. So yeah, I understand. I understand. And I don't like paying bills, but I'm going to tell you that paying bills is easy when you don't have to worry about paying bills. And it doesn't have the same impact that it used to have. Now, interestingly, Rick and I, our whole entire relationship, we have never been that couple that's been $500 or even $1,000 away from a financial catastrophe, or even $5,000 away from a financial catastrophe. We've never had, we didn't have tons of money, but we always could pull together $10,000 between the two of us in cash without touching a 401k or something like that, right? We hadn't been that bad. And yet I hated paying bills. Ooh, I hated paying bills. I just didn't like to see the money leaving our account. And I still don't.
No.
I still don't. That's the thing. But here's the difference between then and now. Now, I don't worry about it coming back because it always does and it always will. And I just know that and I believe that and I operate accordingly. Does that mean I'm wasteful? No. Does that mean we just spend willy-nilly and we just buy whatever? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You just heard me talk about the designer bags and stuff. I don't buy those things anymore because it is not in our budget at this point for me to be buying designer bags every time one is on sale and to travel the way we want to travel. I don't really change my purse. I'm not that kind of girly girl. So that's not my thing, right? That's not my thing. But if it were my thing, then you would see us at home a lot more in Lisbon. Or Rick would be going by himself with his share because I'd be wearing mine. You know, I would be wearing mine. So Allison says, I think Black people in general in the US are weathering the storm better than white people because this isn't our first rodeo. This isn't new for us.
No, it's not.
It's not. And it's not really new for them. It's just that they didn't get taught the true history. And so they believe that it's new for them. Right? That's the thing. That's the thing. And, you know, so I don't know. I don't know if any of our spicy whites are still watching or any of our righteous whiteness allies are still watching. Let us know. Let us know what's going on in your community, because I see in our community, I still see too many Black people who are holding on to the dream and illusion of America, even on 4th of July, right? And it just isn't there. It never was there, right? It never was there. And it certainly wasn't ever there for us. It wasn't there for poor white folks either, but they got fed. They believed the hype more than we did, I think. I don't mourn what America could be. Yeah, I don't even think about it. I honestly, I do, because after all that the planet has allowed itself to go through, and I say we allow things to happen, not natural catastrophes, but I'm saying the government systems, we people allow these things to happen. And when we think about all of the things that have happened, and then when we think about the promise of America and what America really could have been, this multicultural, iconic truly democratic and with some a good dose of democratic socialism thrown in there too, yeah, it could have been amazing. Because when you think about it, it had all of the ingredients. That's why all of the cool stuff, all the cool gadgets and stuff come out of America, right? It has the ingredients. It has enough friction and enough, and the fact that we are multicultural is part of that friction, right? But unfortunately, they took the wrong lessons from it. So I think you meant to say it makes me too angry to know that this ish we have is intentional and deliberate, and Americans have continued to accept it. I understand.
I agree.
It pisses me off too. It really does. It's just so unnecessary and so inhumane. That's the thing. That's the thing. And all of these people calling themselves Christian. Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Great to see you both, Halisi and Rick, together on one screen. Yep, got my boot on. So happy annual Juneteenth event was a success. Oh, so happy to hear. Yes, it was a great success. Everyone had so much fun. Everyone was celebratory. I don't think anybody really got sick this time. One person got food poisoning. I know that one person got food poisoning, but other than that, I think everybody we lucked out. We lucked out. Okay, so I want you to ask yourselves these questions, okay? Because these are the questions you need to ask yourselves to know if you really have freedom or if you have the illusion of freedom. If you lost your job tomorrow, how long could you pay your bills?
1 month?
6 months?
Or a year?
Okay. Question number 2. If you wanted to move, could you?
Or would you have to stop? Would money stop you?
Okay. Question number 3. If your child called today and needed $10,000,
could you help?
Question number 4. If your state passed a law that didn't reflect your values,
could you leave?
Like LGBTQ marriages are now illegal or some such nonsense, right? And then lastly, question number 5. Do you have more than one source of income, or does one paycheck determine your entire future? Oh, wait. Yeah, I'll save the last question.
There says a bonus question.
Yeah, I'll save the bonus question. Okay. So those are the questions you need to ask yourself. I'm going all the way down to the bottom. I see yes, no, yes, no. So yeah, if you lost your job 1 month, 6 months, a year, how long? How long? Okay. If you wanted to move, could you, or would money stop you? If your child called you and needed $10,000, if your parent called you and needed $10,000, could you help them? If your godchild called you and needed $10,000, could you help? If your state passed a law that did not reflect your values, could you leave? And do you have more than one source of income, or does one paycheck determine your whole future? Right? America is never going to give up their racist ways. They refuse to teach true history. Yeah. They want to rewrite it to fit their fantasy. They want to rewrite it to fit what they need us to believe to continue capitalism, so that they can continue to be greedy and have us just be the batteries, right? The batteries that produce the wealth that they then extract, right? That's what it's all about. These are some greedy sons of a guns. I tell you, greedy. The illusion of America liberty, and justice for all is forever lost. Do you agree? Do you agree on this 4th of July weekend?
I think a lot of people still think that there's a chance of it coming back, or it hasn't been lost totally.
Are you talking to me? You talking to them?
I'm talking to you and them.
It sounds like you're whispering.
No, I think some people think that, this is just a bleep in the road and things are going to change back. But back to what?
Back to what?
It used to be, because it wasn't any better then.
Right? I mean, that's the thing. What are we going back to? Right? 2027, they are taking Social Security. So no, that's not true. The laws that they passed go into effect after the midterms, yes, but they're not getting rid of Social Security. Okay, they are reducing benefits for certain folks. Okay, it's all BS. To your point, Yahweh Time Child, it's all BS. Okay, it really is. All right, it's time to make that move. It's time to make that move right now, baby. Money is an issue as I'm unemployed, right? And the retirement funds are dwindling. But again, God continues to provide. Yeah. We sometimes we have to move as though it is, right? We do have to move, and I don't mean move physically. I mean go through life as though it already is. So start, if you plan to move abroad and you don't yet know how you're going to do it, that does not mean you don't start doing the research right now. Because if you wait until you have the money, you're already too late. And it might be too late by then. So do the research now. Get everything that you can get ready now. That means you truly believe that this is going to happen. And you operating and you doing those things lets the universe know that what it needs to do, and it needs to comply with your wishes because you are moving forward as though it is. Okay? That's how it works. That is how it works. Hubby got into student debt. Oh, he got his student debt canceled too. Oh, my student debt canceled. I could move today, but I'm trying to get the money and not leave any on the table because I'm too close to being vested to give that up. I understand. And here's the thing. For those of you who are waiting 2 years, 3 years, 4 years to get to that next level, I want you to do a return on investment analysis. Now, for some of you, it's all or nothing. We know what the return on investment is. But for some of you, it might mean the difference of just a couple of $100. And you really haven't thought about it. It's just more. Maybe you're just looking at the total number. Maybe you're just looking at the annual number. And you're noticing that it's 5,000 more or something like that. But when you break it down into monthly, it's like, wait, I'm giving up how much of my life for just $100 more bucks a month or $150 more a month? So again, do the analysis. You might be right to stay. Especially if it's all or nothing, right? But you might look at it and say, wait a minute. Nah, it's time to go. It's time to go. Right? Okay. I've learned not to trust America, but convincing family to open their eyes has been a challenge. It saddens me to see those who are trapped in their minds.
Us too.
Yeah. We have plenty of family members who and close friends who don't see what the big deal is. They don't see what the big deal is. But see, when you've been gone for 4 years, and we've been gone for 4 years, this August makes 4 years. So next month, 4 years out of the US. We've actually technically been gone since June 4th. Right? But then we went to Mexico and stuff like that. But we've been gone for 4 years. We've been gone from America for 4 years. We have not lived in America since June 2022. Now it's June 2026. So it looks a lot different from the outside looking in. It looks crazy. It looks crazy. So we had a partial blackout yesterday. The block was, I don't know if it was from construction or something, and the power, it was out for like hours at a time. Then it would come back on and make you happy for about 20 minutes, and it would go back off. Whew. Finally came back on, obviously. But I remember the last year, I think it was last year or maybe a year before, when all of Spain, all of Portugal, and parts of France went out. And when I say went out, I mean out, like satellites, everything gone, dead, boom, like silence. No, most people could not get calls,
couldn't get
cell
service.
calls. If you had a landline, a traditional landline, maybe you could get a call. Cell service, the obviously the power was down. I mean, that was the weirdest thing, because I've never experienced like the satellites going down, and I was like, this is like some Russian shit. Remember, I was like, is it Russia? I mean, we were like, because we were totally cut off from the outside, and the few friends that we had that had spotty service, we couldn't contact them, so we didn't have a clue as to what was going on, except for in our community. And I remember thinking, so when I finally figured out I couldn't go to my doctor's appointment, I came back and Rick and I decided to go out and walk around. And, people were treating it like it was a snow day, y'all. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, well, guess it can't work. Everybody was outside. All the vendors who could take cash and stuff like that, they were out selling stuff. All the street performers were out playing the guitar and stuff like that, singing and playing the guitar and stuff like that. It was chill.
It was. It truly was.
It was so chill.
Not a sense of panic at all.
Mm-mm. But I thought it's 9:30 at night here, y'all. But I thought if this would have happened and Canada, America, and part of Mexico would have all gotten a blackout with the satellites down and everything else, oh, hell would break loose. It would have been like that Twilight Zone. Remember when the aliens were like turning off people's lights and stuff on and off, and then everybody started going crazy and the mob mentality started breaking out, and everybody was blaming everybody else and saying you're the outsider and all this nonsense. I bet you dollars to donuts that's what would have happened in the United States. I'm telling you.
Glad they didn't have to find out.
Yes. Okay. See, we would move if we had to, and we could give my daughter the money. We could move out of state. Okay, very good, Allison. We want every single person watching to be in that position, right? To be able to do what you need to do, how you need to do it, when you need to do it. We're supposedly the wealthiest country in the world, but mistreats its citizens worse than than most of the so-called third world countries, right? Those so-called third world countries have universal health care. We don't, right? Those so-called developing nations, those folks are not getting into bankruptcy because their appendix burst or something, right? It's a joke, you guys. It's a joke. And okay, you guys know we spoke at our Rich Journeys conference on Tuesday, just Tuesday, last Tuesday. Yeah, not even a week ago. And we got a lot of folks coming up to us talking about how we had given them hope, et cetera, et cetera. But when we told them how much the surgery cost on my leg and the fact that because it was an emergency and had to be scheduled, I was in the hospital from Saturday until Saturday morning, until Friday. So basically a week in the hospital plus surgery. And when we told them that for that, 5,200 without insurance, people started to understand. People started to understand that the bill of goods that they have been sold in the United States when it comes to the healthcare system is wickety whack. That's number one. And number two, that, okay, yeah, I guess I can't afford to retire or to stop working, because Rick and I, we say we're retired, but we're retired from W-2. That's what we're retired from. We're not retired from life. And because we did Coast Fire, we still have to bring in income. We just don't have to save anymore for our future, even though we are, because why not? If you don't need it, save it, right? But we're such a spend culture.
Oh yeah.
Right? We're such spend, and we've got to get out of that. But once I gave them those numbers, and then Rick told them his numbers from his surgery, right? They were like, okay, maybe this is something I could do. If I go to a place that actually believes that its citizens deserve health care, okay? If I go to a place where people actually believe that their citizens deserve health care, that's not the United States. You're talking about my friends in the US, they think it's going to return to the days of Obama. Even under Obama, it wasn't that great. Even Trayvon Martin died under Obama. We had active shooter drills under Obama. Sandy Hook
kids got massacred.
Happened under Obama. Okay? Like, people are in la la land. Yes, it was lovely to turn on the TV and see that family there. And yes, it was uplifting. And when I would go to work and talk to folks who were doing those micro racist aggressions, I would turn on the TV and say, yeah, yeah, it was feel good. But I cannot say that financially my life got better because of the policies of Obama. It didn't get worse, but it didn't get better, because it was more of the same. It was too incremental. They still were not taxing the wealthy like they need to. And for some reason, we have this notion that we only tax income and we don't tax wealth. And that has to change. As someone who makes less income and has more wealth and income, I'm saying that has to change. And it doesn't have to change for people who have like $2 million in net assets. I'm not talking about people like that, because those are normal people who happen to keep their house. And now it's worth a lot of money, right? Grandmama's house. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people who have houses all over. They got a house in France. They got a house in Greece. They got a yacht park somewhere, right? They have a apartment in Manhattan, and then wherever they live, and a ranch, and a this and a that, right? Right? And they got $100 million in cash somewhere. I'm talking about those people. Those are the people who need to be taxed more. Because we cannot live in a world where 50 people have as much wealth as 300 million people. That's not sustainable. That is not sustainable.
One person.
So one says, I agree, China was never on my bucket list to visit, but much less to live there. Yeah, I don't like how I get treated by them. Me either, when we're traveling. And I certainly don't want to find out how they would treat me there. Well, I've heard horror stories. But then the French, you heard what the French people were saying. No, there was the Argentinian people saying, but the French be saying it too. We talking about go back to the zoo and stuff like that. Yeah, they do. And we'll be spending some time in France at the end in September. But I'm not going there looking for that. I'm not going looking for racism, and so I expect that I probably won't see it. It's best to file bankruptcy if you have to, because at least they can't come after you for just walking away. That's true. If you do it legal, then you've got more options. So that may be something to consider and look into.
But you can't file bankruptcy for everything.
You can't file bankruptcy for everything. You can't file bankruptcy for public student
Public
loans.
student loans
And maybe for private student loans either.
and for other things that they won't. I can't think offhand what they are, but
There's a few things, but there's a
It's
lot of
not-
stuff that you
it's
can't
not.
do.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff, but there's some things you can't just wipe it all out like you used to.
Like you used to be able to. And that too was done by the rich people, right? Who don't want you to be able see, but they can file chapter 11, chapter 13 all day long, right? Because they don't own anything, because everything for them is tied up in trust and corporations and this and that and the other. See, it's a big con game. Oh my God.
Underground med school.
Okay. You see this, you guys? I've heard this before. And I have also heard the fact that Doge did what Doge did, that they have compromised our information, and that we may have a way to ask for a full discharge of our student loans. In a time where we have where we have a need for more doctors and nurses, it is ridiculous that somebody has to get basically into $1 million worth of debt. To me, if you can get in, it should be paid for. That's the way I see it. I know. Oh, okay. Talk about that. All right, guys. All right, let's wrap this up, you guys. Let's wrap this up, because we want you to get back to your family if you're celebrating with your family. So the last question: who owns your time?
You.
And this is the ultimate freedom question. Okay, this is the ultimate freedom question. Who owns your time?
You or someone else?
Look, to me, owning your calendar, being able to say when you will, and the only thing that I cannot change is when we have to file our taxes. Right? Other than that, I can't think of anything else that I don't have, right? Obviously, I got to do what the government says we have to do to, keep everything above board. But other than that, I ain't got to do what I don't want to do. We don't even have to come on live if we don't want to, right? But we like hanging out with you guys. All right. So who owns your time? If you're watching from the future, who owns your time? And if you don't own your time and you want to own your time, there are still a couple of seats available in the Side Hustle Challenge cohort, the summer cohort. Okay. We meet for 10 weeks. We're going to take you from ideation to launch in 10 weeks. Every single Saturday we meet at 1:30 Eastern time for coaching. At the end, you'll have a business plan, but I don't believe in business plans, but you will have a business plan. But really what you will have is a business and the ability to get customers and get paid, because that's what it's about. Right?
So, at our Black Utopia, we define freedom differently. Freedom is options. Options to retire, options to move, options to say no or hell no.
Right?
Options to start over, and options to help your family. Options to leave a bad job.
A bad state.
Yeah. Even a bad country. Without options, we don't really have freedom. We have dependence.
Okay. That's what we have, dependence. And we don't want you to be dependent upon anyone except for yourself, right? And God. The God of your understanding, right? That's it. That's it. So yesterday, America celebrated its freedom. Did y'all? Today, we're celebrating ours because we've asked about your freedom. We've asked about our freedom. We've told you Freedom is about options. Our goal has never been to help people run away from America. It's never been about that.
No.
It's never been about running away per se, although there is nothing wrong with running away. We're Black. We're smart. If we see danger, we run away. We don't right? Now, if we see danger and we see a kid in harm's way, then we stay and fight to save the kid. And then we run away. But we don't just stay in danger. No, that's goofy. That makes no sense. So I don't want you to think about it, about running away. It is getting out of harm's way. How about that, right? Our goal has always been just to help folks have choices.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have choices, you can stay, you can go.
You can say yes, you can say no.
You can help your family. You can tell them to get the hell out your pockets. You can change your life, right? Without asking anyone else's permission or opinion. Mm-hmm. And that is what we mean when we talk about freedom, right? When we say build options, that's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about.
So look, if today's conversation made you realize that you really need is more options, this is
the last week.
The last week to join our Side Hustle Challenge, because a side hustle isn't just about extra money. It's about buying back choices. And next month, Beyond the Bling 3.0 arrives.
That's right. Yeah. Everyone who joins now will be grandfathered into the new version. All right. So if you're ready to build a life where one job, one zip code, one government does not determine your future, then we'd love to help you. All right. We'd love to help you. So before you go, put this in the comment. What does freedom mean to you now? What does freedom mean to you now? I want to hear what you have to say. No more mortgage. Hey, now, I can't say that. We can't say no more mortgage. No. Rick, you'll be happy to know I survived over 20 hours of flying. You helped me with your advice for nervous flyers.
Oh, cool. Good.
Yay. Yay.
That makes me very happy.
Yeah. See, yeah, we like Stephanie, we will be taking all the credit. Any credit y'all want to give us, we will take it. Okay. Is time really money? No, but my time costs money. Right? Because I can always make more money, but I cannot create more time. I'm not God. I only have on this earth the amount of time God, the universe, whatever allows me to be on this earth. That's it. I think you can buy back time in that if your days were taken up doing things that you didn't want to do, you can get those days back, but you can't get the days back that you've already used. You can just get your future days back. Right? Philosophical. Right? Hey, Winnie, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you in the chat. So what do you guys think? Hey, I know that's right.
And that student loan bill.
I know that's right. You know, look, as a matter of fact,
that's a gorilla on your back. That ain't a monkey.
As a matter of fact, you might need to come talk to us and let us know how you did that so you can teach other folks. All right. Everybody chip in $5 and we'll bring her in for a workshop. Teach us how to do that. Seriously, you think I'm kidding? Send us an email. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, because, you know, they think they're slick, trying to keep us enslaved, while meanwhile, everybody else is finding loopholes. Now, I just did my latest FAFSA. Let me see what they say I owe in August. According to the government, my monthly payments are going to be back to zero, from $43 back to zero. And then come 32, they're going to have to, it's been 20 years, so it's got to go. It's all got to go. but it's ridiculous. Freedom looks like positive, loving, kind self-talk. I love that. I love that. Let's see. We keep talking about Stephanie Perry because it's because she's brilliant. That's why. And she's had plenty of time to pontificate and to think about things. And she has created that time for herself. And she's had some very interesting and amazing thoughts. And one of the thoughts that sticks in my head that she has had, and again, these are not things that we didn't know, but the way she put it, and she said, why? She said, some of the things that I heard myself saying to myself in our heads, right? I would never say that to a friend or family member, ever, ever. So why would I say it to myself? And to me, that is so profound, so profound. It is amazing to me that we treat other people better than we treat ourselves. And we are kinder to other people than we are ourselves.
That we don't know.
Right,
People
folks? We
that
don't even know. And we're kinder to them than we are to ourselves. Freedom means lower blood pressure and financial stress, owning our time, psychological freedom. I love it. Selling our home and living in wonderful Portugal is freedom. Okay. Buying merch is freedom. Rick's got on his hat. Yes, as a matter of fact, we're going to have June on. I was going to wear my shirt today, too. I wore my shirt at the ORJ conference, y'all. Yes, I did. I got up on that stage and bought our Black Utopia shirt. I'm not even sure if people noticed. They noticed when I turned around, though, because it said our Black Utopia on the back. We did a big selfie. So I'll chip in to have her on. Each one teach one. See, Biz Help Guru said she'll chip in. Okay, so send us an email. Inquiring minds want to know. Freedom is my time is mine to do what I desire to do. What I desire and will do with it. No more exchange of money for my time. That part. In the Side Hustle Challenge, we are not teaching you how to exchange your time for money. Okay, there might be a little bit of exchanging of time for money, but by and large, we're teaching you how to do a chunk of work and then have that work make money for you over and over and over and over again. That's what we're teaching you how to do. Okay. So that you can make money anywhere in the world. I celebrated the National Raisins in the Potato Salad today. Yep. Oh my gosh. You know, that's a running joke in our community. I know, yeah. But I have never, ever seen raisins in in potato salad, you guys. Have you?
From us?
No, not from us. I've never seen a period.
Oh, yes.
You've been to somebody's house and they had raisins in the potato salad?
Yeah. And asked me if I ate it. And I like raisins, but I don't like them in potato salad. Yeah.
I don't know about no raisins in the potato salad.
Yeah, I've seen
it. You've seen it? Okay, so we're adding a cookout to the summer meetup. Y'all know that. 2 family-friendly events and then an adult-only event for our summer meetup. There will be no raisins in the potato salad, y'all. Rest assured. They better not touch my money, my Social Security money since 15 years old. That, right? I lied too. I lied and got a work permit early so that I could start working my W-2 job at 15 years old. I want my money. I want my money. Every single penny plus the VIG. They think America's got problems now. If he steals that too, he really gonna have some problems. Those that voted for that wicked demon will come for him. They will. They will. They better keep building them bunkers. I think that's what that ballroom. I think the ballroom really is to hide a bunker. He's gonna be hiding in some bunker underneath, and they won't be able to get him out. Working when I okay. So freedom for Gen Xing the fudge out of life is working when I want, charging what I want, USA is in my rear view mirror. I love it. I love it. Is your mail in the description? It is in the description, and it's on our website as well. Our website is ourblackutopia.com. Only reason I don't say it is because we don't want to get a bunch of spam, and there's always bots and stuff listening. That's the only reason why, guys. Freedom is knowing I don't have to look over my shoulder. I'm out of the land of the famous white girl tears. Now that's freedom. So for those of you who do not understand what he means, because John lives now in Portugal, is that here, you know, when you're walking down the street, you know, white women are not looking over their shoulders, clutching their pearls in their purses when they see you walking behind them. They don't pay attention. They ain't paying attention to you. Huh?
You ain't no never mind.
No, never mind whatsoever. Right. And so it must be lovely to no longer be a suspect. Right. Freedom means being able to make choices every day, being in a space that extends your life without stress from white folks. Nonsense. Freedom is living abroad and enjoying the day that you're having, right? Financial freedom. Yes, yes, and more yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, guys. All right. So we're going to leave you on these positive notes. I do like sweet, savory things, but no raisins in the damn potato salad. Okay. We're going to leave you with these positive notes, not the raisins, but what freedom is. Okay. What freedom is. We want you to look at this differently. And we want you to know that even if you started late, it is never too late. It is never too late. If Rick and I can go from negative 22,000 to over 1.1 to over 800,000 in 3 years, from 2018 to 2021, then you can do it too. Okay. It might be a little bit harder today, but believe me, you can do it. And we've got the formula. All right. So we will see you on Thursday, and we will still be in Lisbon, Portugal. So yeah. Keep your eyes out for an amazing video on the meetup. An amazing video. I can't wait for all of you guys to see yourselves in the video. Until then, we'll see you on Thursday. Love you guys.
Yeah. Not a dream, a destination. Our Black Utopia.